everyone, this is Jurgita with Magic Pond Crafts, and today is February 9th, the Sunday. So I'm a little bit behind of starting off the month, but we're finally back home from a hospital with my kids, so finally I can pull out some other whips to work on. And so this is what I worked a little bit in beginning of February. Not a lot, it's just for part of a homework for magical stitches on a Facebook group. So this is Blue Chick by Jim Shore, and it's a backside. So just been filling in some of the blue spots. It's majority of that is gonna be blue color. And I'll show you what else I managed to work on in a hospital in beginning of February. And it's the Space Traveler, as you can see. A little bit on the top is already folded under. And what I managed to put in is already just a tiny bit over 1,000 stitches. And kind of started filling in all the loose spots on the bottom, all those loose threads that were in here. I just continue stitching so I could see more clearer now versus like what's gonna be on the top. I'll handle that a bit later. So since I had my Q snaps already on the bottom, so I figured out I could work a little bit there and go up. So I have not reached yet 80% of this whole thing. And it's a little bit more hiding in there, but that's what Hey the Space Traveler is. And again, I'm stitching on 18 count Aida, and it's a little bit too tough, so next time I think I would pick non-Aida or make it a bit softer. I know some of the fabrics, if you rinse it in like a hair conditioner, it would make it softer, but I worked on this long enough, and it's like 20%, just tiny bit over 20% left to do. So it's very cool. I don't think I'll be able to fully finish this year. I get much closer, way much closer, and my goal is by end of next year to have it done, unless I concentrate mostly on this part. But as you know, if you watch my videos or my whip parades, that I have quite few of different whips, and this is not only one that is a BAP. I still have a George project I need to start cracking up more since I'm finally home, and oh boy, it's good to be home. Although again, still no snow, just a little bit, couple snowflakes fall down, and then next day pretty much it's melted. So I think we're gonna have a late winter again, like in the March or something. Well, so anyway, I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna continue working on, since I really wanna finish up. And it's this by Lady D, Witch of May Night. Again, I just printed a copy on my printer for this, so the colors are not exactly as it's gonna be. So I have just under 10% of that done up to this point, like in January. So you can see her waistline. This is going to be her belt and like a neckline. So I'm going to work a little bit on this. It's picture display fabric. And so I need to see kind of behind a light, so it's hard to do in the evening, and the color is much dark. You can kind of start seeing a darker color like this. It's like a dark denim. So I'm gonna do a little bit here. My plan is today we're gonna go to one of the antique malls. Apparently they have lots of LPSs, if you know about them, Littlest Pet Shops. So my daughter loves them, and I promised to take her, and we're gonna see if they have it in there, because on the Facebook marketplace they were advertising a lot. I'm probably gonna, if it's possible, gonna take at least a few pictures to show how it looks like as a big display in there. And meal preparations for the week, all that other stuff. But I'm gonna try to use this for a couple bonus parts of this week's homework and the stitching. and each part needs to be exactly 111 stitches. So we'll see if I can do that all tonight by midnight. So wish me luck. Well, hello again. It's on the 12th midday, and just managed to upload my end of January video. So I think I haven't done a lot of videos in the past few weeks since beginning of February, so I might just put it all together for a whole month. We'll see how much busy I get in the next several days. So anyway, so since I'm home, I decided to start plucking on this Witch of May 9th, or May 9th witch, 9th of May witch. It's like a model stitching for this designer. It's again my third witch of hers that I'm doing it, and that color like kind of like light purplish is not exactly the color that was in the background, but it still wouldn't matter because from all my suggested fabric colors that I had, we picked this one from Picture This Plus, and I was really started hammering at this one this past week and used for everything that I could. So one of the homework this week was that something that fits a quote, luminescent dream floating against the sea of darkness. So I thought, hey, she's perfect. She's sort of like a floating, illuminated colors because of all the brightness, and the fabric is like all that darkness all around her. I also used her for some of the parks to not exactly open up, but the ones that were open this month, like a Hollywood Boulevard, Toy Story Land, and Grand Avenue. Used also for homework of this week, which was something to stitch on the face, like 100 only stitches, and it was not enough, so we were allowed to continue anywhere else, so I stitched face. I have not done any background. When I picked her up, it was under 10% done, and I'm already quarter way in. So after all this talk, I'm gonna show you how it looks. Ta-da! It looks kind of different, right? Like when you look from a waist up, compare them. So the fabric has a difference. Also, this fabric is, I believe it's actually linen, and so its stitches were laying a little bit not closer, but not as would be even as, for example, I had the pre-printed 28 count. This is, I believe it's 32 count, but as you can see from like looking at the corner, so her bodice is fully done, sleeve is done. The only thing is left to do is her arm in here, then all those little stars, this little thing hanging off the top of her hat, got big portion of this side of the hat done. So the back stitch would really pop out, and once I wash it and iron it, I'm sure the stitches will kind of lay out a little bit nicer. So this is what 25% is done. I started on the 20th of January and didn't have a lot of it done before we had to take off, and so I just grabbed it and stitched and stitched and stitched. That's pretty much all I've done in the past quite few days. I put a couple more stitches in my blue chick, which I'm gonna pick up soon again, but I want to do rest of the homework for this week and hopefully put in some of the monthly homework. So it's something has to do like reminds you of your father and explain. So I'll show you what I chose for that. And it's gonna be my George. My dad is a big lover of history, and this is historical thing. So when I wanted to put my name to be able to stitch this, I thought of my dad and my husband. They love, and actually one of my kids love it. One of my kids is also a big history lover, so I guess it's like passes on. So anyway, so out of this whole picture, mine is just like a that corner. So it's a blend thing, but history and my dad, that's all. That's what I connect together. And what I have right now, I'll be starting is this. This is the 4th row, so gotta try to work until it's done. By my calculations, it might be like 1800 stitches in here. So I want to finish this by 22nd of February, when is George Washington's birthday. So it would be also exactly 2 years since this whole project started. And as you can see, it's just the different shades of grayish and bluish things. So it's almost full 10 rows down gonna be. So I have some more work cut out to do. It's only 4th row. So yep, so this is where I'm gonna be starting. And happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Sending you lots of love. And I hope you enjoy and love all the things that you do, not just necessarily people or animals or nature, but also your love of crafts. May it never stop, and you always would enjoy what you're doing. So as you can see, I actually finished the whole piece in here, and it's only 14th of February. Sorry for my sounding very weird. My sinus is really kicking me today. So I've taken all kinds of medicine, and we have like feels like 0 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So it's very cold outside, got few snowflakes, and that was like it. But it's a sunny day outside. As you can see, it's just a tiny bit of the snow sticking to the ground. And it's a Friday, the 14th. So anyway, I'm very happy. I finished the 4th row, and I also already started the 5th one. So according to the pattern maker, it says I have over 42% of the whole thing done. So I'm very excited. It's not 22nd yet of February, and I have done over 40%. So I'm hoping to keep being ahead of time. This really helps me when I can do some more like extra homework pieces for it, and just keep stitching in it, and that's it. So I'm gonna grab, since it's already Friday, I want to finish up, if possible, my weekly homework. So one of them is I'm gonna use this one, summer ball, and it says we need to stitch on a whip with 3 or more people in it. And as you can see, there's way more than 3 people, and I have over 40% something, almost 50% done, and I just need 200 stitches, and I'll show you how much it is right now looking by that. So that's what it looks like right now. I might work some more skin, because I'm doing skin 1/1, so it's like a petite full stitch, and all the blacks I'm doing with 3 stitches instead of 2, and this is 32 count Lugana. So this is what it looks like right now, and I'm gonna try to put in some more, and there's one more weekly homework part left that I started, and I'll show you that later when I'm gonna be continuing. So
we'll see how much I can do today because there's some things to do, and might need to go to the school to help out with the Valentine's party. We're decorating a shoebox for all little Valentine Day treats, and yep. So that's what's gonna look. And there's person hiding also in the Q-snap part. So let's start. So I've been feeling kind of down in the past few days, being kind of sinus sick. But what you can see is how much I've done on my summer bowl. So I've been working these past few days a lot since I couldn't do anything much around the house. And luckily it's a weekend, so the Valentine's Day passed. I had to miss my daughter's party at school, and my husband came home from a trip of work, but we couldn't just go out anywhere because I was feeling pretty bad. And while I was stitching this, I was watching actually Eurovision competition, and found the winner that's gonna present Lithuania in mid-May in Rotterdam. And it was very hard to choose who I would pick as the winner. There was two super strong competitors that I wanted to see both of them. But this is kind of cool song too, and it was kind of unique. So yeah, I can't wait to see the actual competition. So that's like a famous moves they do, song called On Fire. So I had kind of fun watching that while I was stitching this, and I think I'm gonna stop this because tomorrow is a Sunday, and I need to do one more piece for homework. And that's gonna be this, I'm gonna use this blue chick, Jim Shore's. Sorry for the light, it's late in the evening, and it's set to stitch 300 on something that's close to finish. And since most of my pieces are big, I thought this doesn't have a lot of at least stitching left to finish. So I already did 100 before that, so a couple more 100 left, and so I'm gonna at least to finish the stitching itself with the threads. So we'll see how much I can do. I still have and I'm saying good early morning on was it Tuesday already, the 18th, and as you can see, the left side of the back side of the chick is already formed. So I finished all my 300 stitches that needed to be done for last week's homework, and that's where I stopped because I wanted to add more to we call it Beast Cinderella's castle opening up, and all those threads for it. So I added just under 800 in the past few days. So I think several of characters are ready to be backstitch. Like this girl is fully done, her dress is done, this guy is done. So we want to see more facial features, you know, kind of, because this is normal looking and these blobs are not. Her hair is not done, of course, but that's what it looks like right now. The painting is already done except a couple stitches here, which I think is also going to be human. I mean, like you can tell a couple stitches and there's different color, and it shows that it's like probably another human sitting. There's two people here and somebody here. But that's what I'm gonna leave this for a while. It's already, this whip has just 55.1%, I think. The skin I'm doing over 1 instead of like 2 threads over like 2. so I'm adding more stitches for that way. But since it's already new week, we have a new homework since yesterday, and it's called Recluse or Love, and I'll show you what I'm gonna be picking for it. And it's my Space Traveler by Haid, and as you can see, I already working from before on another, like a page. It's like the whole thing is going to be, I think, up to here. So we had to choose for this week's homework and stitch 1,000 stitches. One of them is a project, work on a project that would make you want to hole up and just stitch, and another one that consumes our love and attention, which is kind of for both of them. So it's the design is for Doctor Who, and I watched quite a bit of a Doctor Who series on the TV shows, and there's some movies. My husband is a big fan, so this is a gift for him, this piece. So that could work practically on both of the choices, but I need to do 1,000 stitches, and by my calculations, when I started this year with this piece, if I would stitch like 1,000 stitches a month, I would finish it in 2 years. But I already did in the last month and a bit, like I think 4,000 on this one. So if I do 2,000 stitches a month for the rest of the year, I might finish it by the end of the year, which is would be great and cool. But I'm not gonna pressure myself too much, but I love stitching on this one, and with apps, reading pattern apps are much easier to work with. This way I can expand more and stitch until thread ends or so, or like until I have a piece done, picking how big I want an area to do and work on it. So I don't know, I think I might go like from bottom a little bit up because of the like waves. Like you can see the wave here goes like that way, so it goes up. But I don't know, we'll see how much I can do. I might fill in and then go, or I might just go whichever color I decide it's calling me for. But this is what I'm starting this week's homework with. And there's some sparkly cryonic already in it that I put in, and I think I might be almost done with the cryonic for this piece. So that's what you see, and the next time you'll see it might be 1,000 stitches in. We'll see. And good afternoon on the 23rd of February. And I must admit, I was like sucked in this universe. I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't even sleep well enough. I was so absorbed with this piece. Also, I think since it's getting slightly closer to the finish line, I had this piece only left. I was not able to stop it, and you're gonna see how much I've done. So I haven't stitched on anything else besides this piece, and I want to reveal how much I've done. I've done more than 1,000, so that's pretty much where it was kind of left. And I'm gonna turn other way. Ta-da! Wow, I'm amazed myself that I've did all of this part in what, 5-6 days, and it's fully done. This is the edge of the piece. As you can see here, there's some cryonic already in those bright spots, but that's what it is. So the only thing left is this piece. There's a little bit like underneath hiding, so you can kind of see like this darkness, and there's another like a planet and the light stream going, and that would be it. So I might, if I keep working like this, I might be done
definitely by the end of this year. So it would be great if I can finish by the end of December. Even if I do, I think like 1,500 stitches a month, I should be done. But I was just so caught up in this excitement of actually seeing this hate piece done that I just couldn't stop. And yesterday was George Washington's birthday, and I should have stitched on my George piece, but I just couldn't stop. Like I said, it was hard to stop to eat or like asleep, but I'm so excited, so happy. All those, there's quite a bit of the single stitches were left, but the program really helps me to pick it out. So I kind of started gridding up to the top, and that's how I decided to go. So I can finally roll and hide a little bit on the bottom so we can see all the way on the top. But that's what it looks like. Phew! So I still have some like a monthly homework left, and not a lot of days left for that. So I'll show you what I actually gonna stop this for and put in some stitches for homework. And I'm gonna be using this whip for monthly extra stitching homework that says we need to stitch in a project with a bird, and yep, that's a bird. So I bought this pattern online from a designer, and this is where I'm gonna start off. Already put properly in the frames, and as you can see, there's no back stitching done, of course. I was just doing main stitching in here, and some of the leaves are done like half stitching and with the blends, and two threads and one thread. So that's what it looks like, and I need to put in at least 300 stitches in this. So I don't think I've touched it this piece yet in this year, so that's gonna be it. So let's see how much I can crack this on. Well, hello on the 27th evening actually, and I'm coming back with you only now because I've just been stitching. So as you can see, I did bird what I needed to do for my previous homework, and I continue to stitch because I couldn't stop. I just got a second wind on this. So all of the stitching is done. I haven't touched any of the back stitching yet, but the main stitching is all done. So all of this, pretty much all parts, there's going to be just a little bit in here kind of thing. So I started growing into it, and very happy with the results with this one. And after I finished with this, I picked up again my Space Traveler and did a little bit on that, and I'll show you just in a second. And here it is. I actually took it off the frame because I want to move of the Q-step, I want to move up, so this bottom is going to be tiny bit covered up with my Q-snap. But this is what you can see as a whole picture. So comparatively to all the hates, it's not that big. Like if you see my hand, so you can kind of you can tell how much is left to do. So I think one of my challenges this year actually is gonna be to finish this as one of my finished projects, and I'm kitting up again a few more things as a BAPS, and there's might be, I don't know if I'll start this year. I'm really trying hard not to start anything new, and so far this year I started only 2, and that was because of the beginning of the New Year start. So I have an ornament and another model stitch, which so I needed to start them, but nothing else new was started, and I was just so excited. Although when I look at all my collection of all the things that are ready to stitch, is hard to, very hard to stay away from. And you know, national market's coming up, so so far I've been keeping away from temptation to looking in and starting to put my wish list for that. But back to my whips. I really want to put some dents in my BAPs, and somehow I don't even want to touch the little ones right now. Weird, right? So medium to big size. So it doesn't look like a lot, you know, when you look at the whole picture, but there are just under 9,000 stitches left in this. There's going to be a little bit of cryonic and some more color bursts in here. Was lucky that there was a lot of the blacks in here, so that went kind of fast, but with the color mix here, blues and yellows and golds and even the cryonic, you probably can tell maybe a little bit with a sparkle, but that's what it is on this one. And after I worked a little bit on this one, I grabbed my long, wide, I probably should say, in the width whip, and I'll show you what it is if you haven't guessed it yet. And that is my summer ball. So I've been using this for also for a part of the homework, and I think monthly stitching. I'm kind of catching up on all the book reading in this past week. So this is what the whole thing looks like, except like one person I think hiding is behind the Q-snap. But I was happy to say, I'm happy to declare that I did all the back stitching done up to like this guy's front. So the girl still has some back stitching left in the dress and stuff. So 50% is already done, or 50%, and so kind of I can already move my Q-snaps over, and I already started stitching on those guys here. With in the black and the red coats, and there's still quite a bit left. So slowly I'm getting into it more and more, and it's very exciting, and I'm very happy that I'm doing the back stitching at the same time, because back stitching does take quite a bit of time, especially with all those details, and there's like each lady has maybe like 3 different color back stitching to do. And this picture I finished, and I couldn't figure out what are like a couple stitches here and 1 stitch there, but looks like there's like a person standing there, isn't it? When you see up close, it's like a couple of dark stitches and a couple light, and there's like a couple blue and pinkish, and then I think some kind of maybe people sitting on a picnic there. And so very exciting to see this being thrown in my progress pile again, and it's hard to stop with this one. I think I should be working on something smaller to kind of get towards finishing it, and I think I'm gonna participate in some of those finish challenges of the year, and we'll see how many I can do, but I'd really love to do my that Space Traveler by Haid, have it all done this year, because I'm getting more and more BAPs starting to get up and haven't started, and I might restart for next year 1 or 2 other ones that I barely started a couple of years kind of ago on a fabric. But I'm thinking that, you know, stitch on the 40 count, even if it's 10 stitch, it might be eye straining, so I don't know if I really want to do that, even though it would not make a giant pictures, but it's still a picture. So so yeah, so that's gonna be it, and I think I'm gonna turn in to show you in a couple of days, since February is a shorter month, leap year I believe. And that's gonna be the last part of this video update of the month. This time it is gonna be a month due to circumstances in the beginning of the month. So maybe after that I might go back into every 2 weeks kind of film, because this might take a long time to put it together. although I hope that you will be able to stitch during all of this long watch. So anyway, so that's what it looks like, and the girl even didn't finish stitching all of the skin over one yet, but I did already a little bit of the back stitching since it was kind of continuation, and I didn't want to just have a thread hanging like in her arm. So that's it for now, and I'll turn in a couple days, and you'll see in a couple seconds what my progress was in the next 2 days. And I'm saying hello on the last day of February, the 29th, which is what, Saturday. So it's time to wrap up my monthly story, semi-daily or so chat, and all the homework in the magical school. Time to wrap up and post it up. So I'm glad to say that I managed to stick only with 7 whips in the whole February month, which is 99 bottles of beer by Ink Circles, Blue Chick by Mill Hill, Space Traveler by Haight, my new project, which is well, new of this year, Witch of May Night, Big George projects, the Summer Ball, and the Christmas wreath. So the last piece I worked in the past few days, again, it was the Summer Ball, and I'm right now about 58% done. So that's what the whole picture is supposed to look like, and I decided to take it off the frame Q-snaps to kind of move it over, and I'll show you what the whole thing looks like. So we'll start with the left side, and I'm stitching on, let me see my little markings, 32 count Ivory Lugana, and I started this on Stitch Mania 2017. So it was sitting, stitched a little bit and sitting because I couldn't find the chart online where I put in for all the back stitching. I had only printed, so I had to find it up electronic pattern. So all of this is fully done. You can see full width, and ta-da! Not a lot done in the past few days. There are things, of course, to do, but I kind of started those 3 guys. You can kind of see the shape where they end. And this girl also, skin needs to be continued on. From that point on, again, the skin is 1/1. I'm doing it. So the back stitching is stopping with this place. And she's gonna have some kind of French knots as I guess like a pearl beading on her neckline. And there's still gonna be left, let's see, maybe up to here. So this area still will need to be stitched on, but overall result, I'm very happy. You can see that's what's gonna be hanging. And so the width is, I don't know, I think maybe just over 8 inches tall. And that's what I'm finishing this month of year 2020. And I'm gonna have to put all those pieces of videos together and present it to you. And then maybe I'll do again a 2-week report. So hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks, or I might do in other language 1 or 2 videos. So you're gonna see in a title. If you want to listen to different language talk, you can still look, but it's gonna be some challenge probably video report, and just monthly report. So I think I'm gonna finish this chatting, and I hope you guys have a great day, great month, great week, weekend, and if you stitch, happy stitching, and hopefully no frog is gonna visiting you. So until the next time, please leave a comment, click on a like, or if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that. And I'll talk to you next time. Till then, bye.